Good afternoon to you. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. The mornings have been hectic. Maybe things have slowed down, or perhaps you're the unlucky one that, is now that things are speeding up. Regardless of which you fall under, I do hope you are doing great. I hope your day is going smoothly. I hope everything is falling in pleasant places for you. And most importantly, I hope that place you go to buy food, they've not increased the price of how much you pay to eat, because I know how frustrating that can be. Trust me, I know. Regardless, welcome to Jolly Life here on SEM TV. I am Emmanuel Tamunot Henry, but you can call me Tammy for short. Of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I have the weather oracle herself with me, the one and only Vera Philip. How are you doing this wonderful afternoon now?
Hey, Tammy, I'm doing great. I saw the sun today. Ha! It looks like a very rare commodity. Like we need to search, we need to use torchlight, we need to search and search before we can see it. I was so glad to see the sun today, honestly. And so, yeah, it was beautiful. So, yes, good afternoon, Tammy. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm jolly. I'm happy. I'm just there, But, there's the good, there's the bad, there's the ugly.
Ugly, of course.
It's just always look at the good, be happy about the good, and look forward to better. So, I guess I can say I'm doing perfectly well.
Nice to know. Anyways, we're here for JollyLife Tuesday's edition, as you already know. I mean, Tammy has mentioned that. And as always, there's something to talk about. There's something to talk about. Tammy, what are we looking at today?
Well, first off, we need to look at last week.
Yes, true. We need
TGIF. Oh my!
Since we couldn't wait to you.
Last week Friday we told them that we're going to leave them to go and enjoy ourselves, and boy, oh boy, did we enjoy ourselves! We even wanted to play one really fun game. We played the game. It was fun. It was mentally challenging. It was it was just seeing people struggle to find synonymous words or trying to explain words. It was for lack of better words, it was beautiful. Truly. That last week Friday, I really looked around and said, thank God it's Friday. Here's a glimpse of, how we enjoyed ourselves in the TGIF last week.
Because of me, I kill it. What the hot body can do. Like that. Then you shake it to the max. Focus up the part. Let me see the top. What you back?
Now, it was a phenomenal experience. As you could see where we were sitting down in the chair, with the papers, passing it to the back. The game is rather simple, if you ask me, even though some people thought I was being diabolical with the kind of questions and the kinds of words I was putting out for people to try to explain and understand. But if you ask me, the words were not that difficult. Vera, if I were to give an example of the game, let's say I look at you and I say, okay, a mobile device. I'm trying to explain the word without, telling you the name of the item, the name of the object, or the name of the act. And I'm like, a mobile device that you're always with, you carry everywhere. What device comes to mind, or what comes to mind?
Phone, most
exactly.
Definitely. So I think it's also about thought processes. You know, how fast it is you can think about something, or the easiest explanation you can give to someone, which of course doesn't come cheap, if I'm being honest, especially when you're on a timer. So games like that can be very stressy for your brain. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we do it, because I mean, your brain needs to be stressed. You need to go through that so that, you know, you can always be able to think fast on your toes. And so I absolutely adored the game, even if I didn't get to participate, but I enjoyed seeing all the struggles, you know, during the game session on Friday. It was amazing, actually.
It was, because honestly speaking, I love brain challenging games. Games that challenge my brain, that challenge my, you know, intuitive thinking, that challenge my IQ, and games that challenge my creativity. I really, really love those games, because there's this thrill that comes from, you know, trying to think out a solution. Even if you go through my phone, you'd see several things, video games included, games that need you to think. You're like, okay, in order for this move to be made, you need to do this, or you need to calculate this, or what are synonymous words with this, or what is this person trying to portray, what's this person trying to explain, what is going on. Like, your brain is thinking. It can be stressful, it can be you know, tiring, but it is very fun when you finally are able to get the point across and you're able to understand what the person was trying to say. Heck, it could even be more fun when the person makes the explanation and you get it, and you're like, oh boy, what were you trying to explain? Of course, as you can see, prize money was given. A lot of people, you know, were giving cash. A lot of people went home with, you know, sweet treats. You can see that we had a lot to eat and we had a lot to drink. We had so much fun, and that's what Friday should be about. Friday should be fun. Friday should be nice. Friday should be that day that people are not only thinking, finally is the weekend, I won't come to work for 2 days. It should be that day that they're looking forward to, and they're like, finally I can go to work, it's Friday. You know, I think if you can inculcate that into your workspace, I think you're in a step in the right direction. What do you think, Vera?
Well, that's very good. I mean, one of the essence why we bring Thank God It's Friday to your screen is to encourage you, you know, especially if you're a job owner as well, you are also like a CEO, or, you know, your workspace, even if you can't afford maybe drinking and eating, but at least playing of games, light-hearted, you know, conversations and activities that makes the workspace feel like family, like home. Like I usually tell my colleagues, I'm always saying that, you know, 7 days out of a week, you're spending 5 days here, and that 5 days you're spending here, you're spending almost like 9-10 hours here, and as a media house sometimes you spend even more than that, and in some cases the remaining hours you're either sleeping or using it to prepare to come back here. So imagine not having a family here, imagine not having a rest here, imagine not being here and feeling toxic. You know, imagine all of that. Imagine that where you spend the most of your hours in a day, in a week, and even in a month is not a happy place for you. That is you doing so much damage to yourself and to your growth process. So I always encourage that workspaces should always be a place where you can create family, where you can be happy, where you can enjoy the job you're doing. And so it does not automatically become a job, it automatically becomes a hobby, you know, that you're doing, because you know that, oh, when I get to work, I'm going to definitely, this person is going to make me laugh all through, you know, you're just going to enjoy yourself, like live naturally and enjoy yourself. So yeah, the essence of Thank God It's Friday, I'm bringing it to your screen, is just to remind you that our workspace needs to be, you know, beautiful. Workspace needs to be
exciting.
Warm. It needs to be exciting. It needs to be a place where, especially a place where creatives are, you can't box them up. You really can't. So yeah, at the end of the day, these are things that are also saying inculcate to your organizations, inculcate amongst your friends, amongst your workspaces, and just have a good time as you work.
Exactly, have a good time as you work. I love the fact that Vera pointed out that, look, you come here more, it's practically the second place you go to more often than your house.
If you ask me, the first place, because how many hours do you even spend in your house?
Exactly, how many hours do you spend at home? How many hours do you spend in work? And some people will tell you that, you know, it's week in, week out. Some people, they tell you they live in their workplace, exactly. So in a situation where the workplace has become your home, or become your home away from home, or just basically your second home, it should be like your home.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
It should feel safe.
Dare I say, it should even be better than your home, because the responsibilities that you're given at work are not the same responsibilities you're given at home. At home, you have leniency. At home, you have certain freedoms. At home, there are certain things that I can't go home now and they tell me, come and voice this. No, it doesn't happen at home. I can't be at home and they're like, oh, you prepare for a program. No, it doesn't happen. So there are certain responsibilities that are given to me because I'm at work. And if said workplace is now not conducive enough for me to carry out said work, well, honestly, it's not the right working conditions. So as Vera has also said, you as well, if you're a CEO, you're a managing director, you're a station head, or you are whatever, a manager, whatever you are, ensure that you inculcate beautiful working environments, conducive and peaceful working environments, especially if you are result oriented.
Yeah.
If you're looking for results, then that's the only right way to go. But if you're thinking, oh, anyway, let them just work as they are now, this, that, you may think you're getting 100%. I can 100% assure you that you are not. They're not putting their all. They're not giving. You cannot force someone to give you their all. You can only appeal to them to give you the most they can. You can't force them. So when you create the right working environment, when you give, you instill the right motivation with your people, it doesn't matter how difficult the work gets. You will get them to put their all and even put a little bit extra because they can see that you are appreciating them. So I hope you out there, you are going to take, a leaf out of the book of our chairman and do something good for your workplace. So that at the very least, they can see the workplace as a home away from home. Now, speaking of workplace and workplace ethics, Vera, you've heard of, Becca's situation of her getting sacked from the bank she was working in. That wahala.
That story.
Yeah.
Are you going to give it to
I am.
Okay.
Because we are talking about work ethics.
Yeah.
We're talking about your workplace being a place that you are accepted, a place that you can basically be at home away from home. You're not alienated. You're not walking into a toxic environment. You're not walking into a place where immediately you think about it, you're heaving a sigh. And you see that once you get to work, some people tell you that once they leave work, anything concerning work is not their business anymore. And now when it now comes to social media, that one would think is the farthest thing that has to do away from your workplace. One would say, it's whatever I post on my social media page, it has nothing to do with the workplace. If, let's say, something becomes a bit more expensive and I want to make a complaint on social media, because I'm making a complaint that thing has gotten expensive and I can't afford it because of how much I'm being paid, it doesn't reflect on, oh, this place is not paying me well enough to afford this thing. Social media calls for banter. Social media calls for fun. Social media calls for controversy. That's the beauty of, if you're going to social media to look for 100% facts, then you can as well just go and do accurate research. Because that's not what social media is for. Or at least that's not what you will find on social media. Social media is objectively driven. Or rather, subjectively driven, not objectively driven. Because people are giving their thoughts, their takes, and their opinions. And most importantly, their feelings. And these things cannot be calculated. These things cannot be objectified. These things cannot be said, okay, because you said this, this is what you mean. I can say something and I mean another thing altogether. So, I want to come and ask you, Vera, before we even look deeply into her matter, do you think your social media has anything to do with your workplace or even work ethics?
Yes.
If you're delivering results, you are working hard, you are performing, they don't have any complaints about you. But let's say you're a controversial social media influencer.
Yeah.
How does that mix with your workplace?
Well, I'm going to answer as a brand strategist, and to be honest, how do I put this? Okay, in two ways. First of all, if you're looking for a job, social media matters, because obviously whatever brand you're going to work for, they have a brand, they have what it is that aligns with their work. For example, if you're going in to look for a corporate job, I think we've talked about this too before on the show. If you're going to look for a corporate job, you know very well that you're supposed to dress in a corporate wear, so that you get noticed and you can be given that job. You can't go in looking for a job as a banker dressed as an engineer or dressed as a common tout. You have to dress the part. That's because you know this is what the brand identifies as, I mean to say. So when you are applying for a job, you definitely are trying to be, it's either you are already ready to, you know, move yourself, or, you know, train yourself to appear as the brand, or the brand already aligns with your own personal brand. You're a representative of the brand. If you get employed by any company now, you're a representative of that brand, and there's how that brand wants to be portrayed. That's for one. Two, if you're already working for this brand and you portray yourself at a certain level on social media, it can be understandable. But if the brand begins to feel disturbed by your appearance on social media and feels like it does not inculcate their brand ethics, they are well within their rights, because again, because you are employed under that brand, you are basically a brand representative of that brand. And so I can understand for that particular, you know, one. So when employments are happening, when people are employing brands, there is always a negotiation on the table. Oh, what can I do, what can I not do? And if I'm being honest, TikTok now, we have seen a lot of bankers who are trying to have a life outside banking, which is understandable. As we already know, banking job is not easy. It's like from morning till evening, you know, it has an entire routine. And me, so when I see hardworking women bankers who are actually also into content creation, I'm really like in awe of their audacity and even their strength, because it's actually not easy to go to work as early as 7 a.m. in the morning, come back as late as 7 p.m. in the morning, still vlog that, you know, entire outfit, and still edit it, still post on social media, still have an entire life outside of your 9 to 5. I can tell you that's a struggle for me. So seeing these bankers, I have a few bankers on my TikTok that I watch, you know, and seeing them do this, I'm always like very intrigued by it. I'm like, this is so beautiful, this is something commendable. Now we're also in a country where everyone is trying to survive more than one source of income.
True.
Content creation has also given people income, and as I always say, content creation is about peculiarity. How peculiar are you? What are you doing differently? There are a lot of bankers who do a 9 to 5, you know, vlog here, different ones. Some do a day in my life, some do get ready with me, like different contents on social media, just to get traction, just to get attention, and of course also to feed the public, right? So what makes you different? Why are you peculiar? Why do I have to watch you? And also, let's not forget that content creation also has a lot to do with your personal identity. Your personal identity, which is not your workspace, which is of course who you are as a person. So some people identify on social media based off who they are personally. Now, in the case of Becca, funnily enough, she's someone I also follow on TikTok. Like I watch her content on TikTok, and even me, I would say that, okay, personally, I'm always like, whew, this girl is very dramatic, because she has this whole get ready with me that she does in the morning, you know, and when she does it, she's very energetic, very, some people use the word raz, but I would not want to use that. In the morning when she's preparing for work, and then she just dresses up and she's off to work. You know, she does some content in the office as well. Now that resonates with a lot of people, but I wouldn't say it resonates with me, but it does resonate with a lot of people, and that is how she has gotten her fan base. That's how she has gotten, you know, her followers, or the people who engage her, you know, personally. There are other people I could mention their names if I want to. So at the end of the day, how has that, your action as your own personal brand as Becca, how has it affected the bank? This is what I understand. Are we talking
negatively or positively?
Negatively,
or both
obviously. Negatively, because the bank obviously hired you for you to influence them positively. So when it begins to influence them negatively, there's definitely a problem there. So let's talk about how it has affected the brand negatively, which is the issues that are actually occurred that led to her sack. Now, first of all, in her narration, I don't know if we've played that, you know, for...
No, we'll get your take first, and then
play the narration.
What she has to say.
In her narration, she mentioned that, you know, obviously, she has worked in that bank for a really long time, according to her, since about 2018 or so. There was a time where she actually really did, you know, have... they increased the salary, and then she was a contract staff, and when they increased the salary, and then she posted it on social media.
She became a full-time employee.
Before she became a full-time employee, she said there was a time they
received the
of about
increment.
10,000 naira. So
and she made content about that.
She did content about this. Now, there are brands who, in short, let's not even talk about brands. Salary structure in organizations are very, very discreet.
Yeah.
It is like one of the most discreet things about a workplace, because obviously it's one of the easiest way to also break work protocols at workplaces. So for every brand, especially brands who know exactly what they are doing, salaries are not discussed or are not arranged amongst, staff members. Some people get increments, others do not, because others are doing more than others, but maybe some others have gotten recognition more than others. So it's personal relationship with the company, right? And now you putting this out on social media, you're obviously selling out that this company did so amount of increment. There could have been people who have received more than that. There could have been people, or it also tarnishes the image of the place. Maybe people now begin to say, there's not even money there or something. It gives a bad reputation to that place. She did acknowledge the fact that she apologized, that she didn't know. When they explain these things to you, you now begin to see from their own point of view, and I really appreciate her for that, for that maturity there. Sometimes you do something and you don't see the wrong in it, but when you get to hear the other side,
I mean, of course, because you were ignorant.
Yeah, you understand that okay, this is the bad part. So she understood that, and then she, deleted the post and all of that. She said there was even the one that she did a collaboration with someone. She had to beg the person to bring down the post because it wasn't okay with the office, or And over the years, since 2018 to 2022 down to 2026, in those years, according to her, in her statement, she said that they've always complained about her posts. Oh, you're posting this, you're posting that, you're posting this, you're posting that. She also did mention that she didn't really know exactly what the complaint was about. Is it that I shouldn't post in the office, or I shouldn't post, this or that? Now, where I feel like she made a mistake there was that if the office is complaining about your post, especially when it has to do with the office, why don't you remove the office completely from your post?
I think she also addressed that and said it's because she did not have, a good location.
That was at the beginning. She said at the beginning she didn't have a good location, so she was always using the office. Exactly. Now, when you finally had a better location, obviously she's been there since 2018 to 2026. I mean, of course,
now when you look at the analytics, now when you see people like, seeing your workplace, people like those kind of things also fuel. But at
the same time, creativity. I want to believe she's a creative person. Creative person means when one road blocks, you find another one. For example, now that she's lost that job, I believe that she's definitely going to find another one. You have to create another way. So if this is not your father's business, this is a brand you work for, you represent, they have the right to tell you to not shoot content in their environment. They have that right, but they didn't hold you from doing that. Rather, they restricted you on what you can do. So the best you can do is respect that brand and shoot your content outside of that brand, because that brand does not want you to shoot there. I can understand that there are other bank, other staff members, other kind of banks that their staff can shoot. I mean, people even made comparisons in the comment sessions, you get, and all that. But that is that bank's strategy, not your own strategy. So it's important that you understand that my bank operates differently, or my bank thinks I shouldn't do this, so I'm going to respect myself.
Even in media, we have stuff like that. They call it house style. Each house
exactly.
Has their style.
Everybody has their house style. I can't come here and read the news like another station will do, because that's not the house style. I can't come and do that. So there are ethics, work ethics that you need to follow, work ethics that you need to make sure that you are following in line with, not because anybody hates you, but because this is the vision of the owners of this place, of the brand you work with, and you're employed to calculate whatever you're doing, you're having with the vision of this place. Anything other than that can get you sacked, and the truth is they are well within their right to ask you to resign. Right? I do understand that for someone who has worked for that long in the banking sector, that banking sector, it might have been a bit harsh to ask her to resign just on a random day. But are they well within their rights to ask you to resign? Very well. They are well within their rights. If they are tired of having to speak to you every time about, oh please get, they are well within their rights to ask you to resign. It's unfair because of how long you've worked for them, but it is not out of place for them to ask you to resign. So that would be my take on the situation, though.
Indeed. So Becca had a lot to say. She actually dropped a story time video, and of course we can't play you the entire video because the entire video is practically 13 minutes long, and well, time is of the essence. So we'll give you some bits and snippets of what she had to say. Here's one of those.
Fast forward to July 2022. One of those mornings, I just made my video. You know this sound? Is it for Eba? Is it for Gary? Is it for Keneka? I don't know. You know that sound, right? I use that sound. And I wrote a caption. on that video. When I made the video, I wrote that when they increased salary and they only had 10,000 naira, I was opportuned. I was opportune to experience salary increment, you know, and I was like, yeah, not what to do for you. Okay, and I moved on. So when I made that video, I didn't make that video because I wanted to throw shades or anything. It was, you know how content can be, and I don't think people really understand what this content creation is, because that's, people get mad a lot, right? You don't really understand what this content creation is. It's me putting out my experience. It's me putting out what I've experienced or what I'm experiencing as I speak. Do you understand? You know, I'm like, hey, so I made that video and I posted and I forgot. I went about my day, you know. Then only for me to just get calls, my branch manager as at then called me and said they are calling you from head office about a video you posted. And after that I left, they kept on telling me that I should keep coming to the head office. And in my head, I'm like, transport. Okay, I came the next day and I realized that there was nothing really they were doing. So I didn't come the following day because I just was like, there was really nothing. You know, whatever verdict they wanted to do, I mean, they could communicate it to me. So I was home until my head of operation at that time called me and said, you can resume work. I'm like, okay, welcome back to work. But you know the miracle that video performed? The increased salary. Well, that same year, I got a promotion. I wasn't expecting, because I was thinking that because of what I've done, they'll probably not promote me. I got a promotion that year from a contract staff to a full-time, full-time staff. And so I was like, thank you, Jesus. So they don't leave me behind, though. And then it came a salary increment again. And salary increment was, fair, better than the way it was before. Apparently, because of my video. So a win-win, right?
Well, that's the most we can give you from the entire video, where she explained, the predicaments behind why she was relieved of duty when the back she was working with. And a lot of people said a lot of things in the comments, one of which caught my attention. And someone said that you can't try to stifle someone's creative outlet. Nigeria is already hard enough. And that really, it stuck to me, because, of course, Nigeria is already difficult as it is. So many things going on, so many problems we're facing. A lot of people can't even sleep at night. And one thing people fail to regard is the fact that there has to be an outlet. You can't go through severe experiences, painful experiences, traumatic experiences, and bottle it all up. It has to be released in one way or the other, either via a conversation with a friend, or via, martial arts or violence, That's why some people will tell you that, look, the reason they practice martial arts is because it's an outlet for them to take out a lot of pent-up violence. When they're punching the sandbag, it allows them to put all their frustrations into it. Some people put it in working out, some people put it in art, but in one way or the other, it has to be an outlet. And for some people, it turns out to be, social media. And in her case, however, she said it was more or less what she loved doing. She loved releasing videos. That to her, it was like, it was a love she had, that she could stay and release 4 videos, 5 videos in a single day. And she wasn't the type of person to say, okay, let me check the analytics, what's going on, what did they like, what did they not like, did they blow, did they not blow, did they get how many likes. No, she was just pumping out videos. She was just releasing content. Now, Vera, do you think the excuse of data leaks via any videos made on social media, either in a workplace or about a workplace, is something that can be considered? Now taking hers out of the equation, because this can encompass any workplace and every workplace. Do you think this issue of there will be a possible leak, and I'm asking this because you had pointed out earlier that there are sensitive structures that should not be disclosed or should not be talked about?
Yeah.
Now, do you think that is actually a problem, that should be talked about? And I'm asking this because some people think that they're not getting paid fairly for their labor.
Yeah.
Someone can be paid 50,000 naira. And of course, they're like, I come to work 7 days in a week. I work from morning till evening. Why am I being paid 50,000 naira? It's unfair. And they go on social media and then they allege it. And then you see a lot of people tell you, no, for this, specific work time and for this type of job, you should be paid way more than that. In that case, they might have found out a way that they are being exploited. They're not being paid fairly. And that could then inform their decision. So, if people don't make these posts, if people don't talk about these things, a lot of them could be exploited in silence. So do you think that, excuse of all that? I don't know, because saying the word excuse, knowing the way Nigerians take words very seriously. If I say excuse, they'll be like, what do you mean excuse? It's not excuse, it's a reason, it's a fact. So using that reason, let me use that word. Do you think that reason is reason enough, dare I say?
Well, again, there is workroom culture, right? And obviously everyone that works in a corporate environment or any place you work at, you need to first of all understand the culture of the place that you work, the do's and the don'ts, and in that case where she posted about the 10,000 naira increment, she wasn't posting it because she wanted to create awareness that, oh, some people get paid less.
Oh yeah,
she was posting it, according to her, because she was just trying to create the intention that, oh, I just got a salary increment, like
that she said she used the sound. Is it for is it for Ghana? She said she didn't use that because the sound was trending. And
what is she supposed to do with that amount of money? As harmless as she thinks the post was, as an interpreter from my home who knows that, oh, you work in so bank, this obviously means that it's 10,000 that are paying the increase in your salary. It doesn't even make any sense. It begins to make me rate that company in a certain way that is not supposed to. Now remember that brands function out of packaging. So there is a brand that might be paying their staff 50,000 naira a month. Not like I'm saying this is accurate or this should happen. Can be paying their staff 50,000 naira a month, but you're seeing them as a multinational, brand.
I mean, they are a multinational brand.
I mean, but they are paying their staff 50,000 naira. Now, this is a packaging which you have, of course, signed up for when you agreed to get that salary from them. Is it understandable if you protest? Yes, it is. But you also have to understand where it is that you are going to be going wrong when you're protesting or when you're trying to go about it. Now, if you're trying to go about the company saying, oh, they are not even paying well and all of that, what did you sign up for? What was in your agreement? What is the extent of what you can do? Not because you're not allowed to do it, but because you're also trying to not incriminate yourself, or put yourself in a situation where you have to be explaining in court of law.
Well, Vera, earlier we talked about this issue of ignorance now. People can make, Vera, as it is right now, in Nigeria, you can't tell me that there are no youths, older people, or anyone whatsoever that will not be willing to take certain jobs, even though it is exploitative in nature, just so they can get, earn ends meet.
That absolutely.
And now, while in that job, imagine they now find out that, oh wow, what I thought was an opportunity is actually exploitation.
You are allowed to leave, or even if you want to fight it, you fight it due process. I am an advocate of due process. If whatever it is you want to fight, you fight it through the due process. What is it that I can do to get my money for this and that, for what has been done to me, or for this action that I took and wasn't paid? That is what should be your thought process. Not to incriminate yourself by actually going on social media, because guess what? Social media is another place for you to put yourself in trouble.
Very true.
So my point is, she is now aware that, oh, this certain kind of content makes issues or cause issues in the office. It means that I even heard rumors that she had she did a video at the vault part of the bank. I don't know how true that rumor is, but if at all that happened, there is enough reason for the company to call her to order. Because guess what? If I'm trying to rob that bank, I just need to follow your page. I just need to follow that. I even probably need to put like snipers here and there to follow you around. That is so much information leaking about that facility. So that alone is enough to scare the bank. That alone is enough to hold the bank like, this is not normal. We need to address this. And I don't think the bank went anything out of the way to say, you know what, let's not encourage this or let's not entertain this. So yes, I understand the need that, oh, there is exploitation. Some workers, some employers exploit their staff, and some people need to fight for themselves, but go through the right and proper channels. Because when you don't, you are setting yourself up for a bigger issue. And that's all I'm saying. So as much as you want to preach, oh, ignorance, we don't know when we enter. When you now enter, you need to now use your head. You need to apply wisdom. Everything in this life, you need to apply wisdom while you're working with them. Because when you now apply ignorance, you're going to set yourself up for more problems, and that is not good for you. You might not even have the money to be able to solve yourself out of that problem.
Very true. Now, another important thing is, this one is now you personally. Vera, be honest with me. Be honest with me. Do you think likes, shares, possible brand, deals from how big it is, and social media payments and clout, do you think it's actually worth monthly salary payments? Like, if you were to choose between being famous or making that one video that would make you feel, that this video I'm going to make is going to make me famous, it's going to increase my follower count, it's going to increase my to comment ratio, it's going to increase all of these things and make me blow. But then that one video is the video that would actually sever you with the company that is paying you every month. Which one would you pick, Vera? Because a lot of people, that question was being asked in the comment section, and honestly speaking, I said, nah, I'm going to need to have to hear your part too.
I don't think I can answer that question for myself personally, but I think that it also dwells on where you are in your life and what it is that you want moving forward. So I can't say I can answer that question personally, but it depends on where I am. Am I ready to leave what it is that I have on my plate now? Besides, when you're working for a place or when you're doing a job, it's not supposed to be entirely about the money, but also about what you're gaining or what your future gains
what you're learning as well.
What you're learning, what your future gains or what your present gains are from that place outside money, right? So my thought process now will be, what this particular thing, what are my gains and losses from here, and what are my gains and losses from here? Calculative risk, and take the best available risk for me at that time. So that is when you're very intentional, when you know that this thing is going to cause me this. In our case, I don't think she knew, because she kept doing videos and she was saying that if anybody,
I was just giving you the
I understand,
the better end of the stick.
But I'm also, it also caused me to wonder, right? Because if she has been warned so many times, right? Because I know that from content creation she gets deals. She has collaborations,
and of course once you get certain likes and certain shares and comments
on social media. So I think my worry too for her will be that, okay, it got in her head, and there's how it gets to your head sometimes, and you just feel like, it's not this job that I'm receiving salary. Sometimes I receive more than my salary here, or stuff like that, and then it begins to get in your head and you begin to feel a bit bigger than the people who are above you. Now, I'm not saying that was her case. I'm just saying that this could also be a reason. There's a possibility. You now begin to feel like, oh, I'm making money outside of this place, so if you tell me to go, I will just go.
And after all. What am I?
Do you get? My life will continue. It happens, especially even using media houses as an example, because a lot of people, you understand. So that could have been one of a reason, one possibility as well. And so, because if you ask me, I don't think she really has much that she has lost. Maybe the salary, but her incomes won't stop coming in, obviously. So that could have also been a possible reason, but I really hope that everything works out well for her moving forward. I don't ever feel like when one door closes, another door won't open. There's always going to be another door that will open, no matter how long it takes. So for Becca, I wish her all the best. She, of course, is an entertaining person on social media, and I like to say real, because I've seen her videos, I've seen her vlogs. She's currently introduced, like she's getting married, and so congratulations to her on that. I wish her all the best. I know that she's definitely going to have a better life moving forward, because obviously life doesn't revolve like Nollywood movie. Life doesn't revolve like Nollywood movie, so really she's definitely going to be fine.
Well, I honestly have so much more to say concerning this, but Vera said one thing that basically encompasses everything I was going to say, which is, you weigh your risks, you weigh your options. Once you know that this decision is worth more than this one, you take this decision. If you think this one is going to cost you more than this one, you avoid this one. It all depends on one thing: risk assessment. So if you think, the workplace you're at now, the social media rules are too stringent and they're cracking down on you about your social media too much, it's, you either go with the flow or you leave. Or you find that sweet spot. There is that sweet spot, that falls between I'm not breaking your laws, but at the same time I'm still doing what I want to do. So there is always a gray area. Heck, even the Constitution has a gray area. So there will always be that gray area. It's either you take advantage of it, or you go with the flow, or you decide to go with what suits you better. That's the most we can take on Jolly Life. I hope you enjoyed yourself, because me, I did. I enjoyed myself. Unfortunately, time is not on our side, so this here we're drawing the curtains. I am Emmanuel Tamino Tenari, but you can call me Tammy for short. And of course, I've been here with the weather oracle herself, Vera Philip. We'll catch you tomorrow in the next episode of Jolly Life. Don't go anywhere.